counting the off season with free agency and this year's draft, give me your top 5 teams going into this season.
I'm not going to give you the order like this is
fine.
definitely number one, but
That's
I'm
fine.
going to give you 5 teams that I think are any of them could be up there. Atlanta Falcons, Pittsburgh Steelers, New York Jets. Not a top 5. No. I really like the draft, but I think that the Chargers, strangely enough, are still there as a top 5 team. Kansas City.
You think they did? You think they had a good off season?
Oh, yeah, better than most people think. They were going to have talent leaving. I mean, that's just the game, and they embrace it. They even try to help players go to certain locations, pick when, talk with them. They have a very proactive relationship with their agents. There's very little acrimony with players leaving it. There's always an exception, but yeah, I think they did good, and they're putting a slightly different team around Mahomes, but he's adjusting to it. They're doing well. They're having to do all this around Mahomes' contract. They're acknowledging that. They're embracing it. And I think they're doing a very proactive job. And yes, they are a top 5 team without a doubt.
And I'm not saying top 5 team in the NFL. I'm talking about top 5 off-season teams.
Oh, okay, top 5.
Because you really think it
combined?
Yes. Do you really think the Atlanta Falcons are a top 5 team right now in the NFL?
Yes, and I think that they had a top 5 off season.
Wow, Atlanta
with what they did and how they did.
They don't have a quarterback. I don't know how. I mean, who's throwing the ball?
They need a quarterback with that talent around, and that's good because, like you, Ryder's not a finished product, but I think he can fit into a dynamic offense that they're building up there. Yes, I think that team's going to be a blast. And I think this year, the first year, I think the NFL is going to have a tough time stopping it.
So let me ask you.
Next year,
I'm sorry to cut you off.
That they will adjust.
I'm sorry to cut you off. So you're telling me right now, and honestly, you think the Atlanta Falcons are more of a top 5 team than the New York Jets? Come on, Steven. Are you serious?
I'm saying that's
talent.
That's a battle I want to find out.
They're going to play this year. They're playing
with the New York Jets. If I had to bet money one way or the other, I'd bet on the Jets, but not by a lot.
Really? Now, I understand you guys like Bijan Robinson, but Breece Hall is not too shabby either. He was going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
By the way.
All right, so he's coming back.
He should be healthy. And don't forget, he was killing it.
Oh, I know. So, trust me. I mean, I was throwing up after he hurt himself with the Broncos, and so did Elijah Vera Tucker. I'm sorry. I completely disagree with you. Atlanta is not a top 5 team. They're no way a top 5 team. As a matter of fact, I'll be surprised they win 8 games this year. They don't have a quarterback. There's questions in their secondary, which is very, very weak. I wonder who's throwing them the ball. That's another question. And yeah, they might have weapons. They went after Bijan Robinson when they had Patterson. Well, that made no sense. I mean, Cordell Patterson's been their wide receiver / running back all, for the last 2 or 3 years. And he's been pretty good.
It makes sense.
Really?
Though. With Desmond Ryder, this is the horse we got. And we have a vision for what we want to implement here. And it's going to be a multifaceted offense. That's going to be Ryder's going to be running, but of course it's all going to run through the running back as the anvil, if you will. And it's going to be simple yet dynamic. I mean, pick your poison. How are you going to leave us an opening? And they're going to run option football.